Guys, welcome to the channel. We're going to go ahead and do a field test on this Protero. It's a PTO driven style clamshell dump from the seat material collection system. Material because it's good for clippings, it's good for leaves, it's good for whatever other debris might be in your yard. If you didn't watch it yet, check out that product overview. I go into more detail specifically about the different features and construction and how to kind of assemble it, put it on, take it off, that kind of thing. We're going to go ahead and get this thing mounted back on my tractor and try it out in the yard. So this is something you can order direct from Protero, so make sure you ask for your Good Works Tractors discount. It's going to save you a boatload of money on that as well. Let's get this thing put back on here and go test it out. Oh, but really quick, if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button under the video, read through that description. If you can't find where to buy this thing at, there will be a link down there on where you want to buy this, okay? And check out the other videos on my channel. One other very helpful installation point, okay? Once you kind of get it set right in there, don't go ahead and jack it the whole way up and then try to close these arms. There's actually a lot more weight, obviously, a lot more weight on this side versus the other side. So it is gonna have a tendency to wanna kind of shift it over or tip up that side. It'll be nearly impossible to get that side locked in. So kind of as soon as you have it set in the hooks, kind of like it is right now, go ahead and latch both sides. That way it's locked in place there and you'll be good to go. One thing to note is that as with any bagger system, once you put the boot on this side, your deck is going to tend to be out of level. All right, so that's probably a whole other video there that I should do at some point, but I say that I've got this thing pretty close. I notice it is still cutting when I did my test area there, just a little bit out of level. But for me, I don't care too much. This is gonna mow about 2 inches. I'm gonna come back over with my reel mower and mow it down to 1 inch anyway, so I just don't care all that much. Don't forget to take your parking stands out, because last thing you wanna do is have those drag along and gouge up your lawn. Well, I think we're ready to mow, so let's go ahead and get to it again. Get this from Protero if you want to. Ask for your Good Works Tractors discount, all right? Gonna be very significant. Let's see how this bad boy does. Well, as you can see here, and I think you can probably get a pretty good look, this thing does a really, really darn good job at not only the clippings on one pass, but also the leaves on one pass as well, okay? And this is shaggy, this is thick. I put down 250 pounds just to overseed of ryegrass and bluegrass mixture this fall, so on top of what was already here. So this is a thick turf. Yeah, it is still a little bit out of level, but part of that is also because this lawn is actually, I have never leveled it out, okay? So it kind of has its own undulations and everything else, but that's where a reel mower makes all the difference in the world, but that's another story. So a couple things you might notice as we go through here. You know, I'm keeping the PTO on even when I back up on this tractor. So there's a way to do that. Simply, if you have a knob to pull up and turn your PTO on, or if you have a kind of a switch where you just push in the top to turn your PTO on, well, you'll either be able to pull up further, okay, so you have it on position, then pull up further, or you can push in further if you're pushing in a button, okay, before you hit that reverse pedal. So that's going to be an override, a safety override. Always check what's behind you, look at your manuals, safety stuff. I'm not looking to get blamed here, okay? I'm just looking to kind of make you more efficient in a safe manner. But that's how you can keep that PTO engaged so you don't have to turn the mower deck on and off if you do kind of want to stripe and go back and forth. Lastly, I want to know I'm doing this in high range, okay? So I'm not in low range, I'm in high. I'm not maxing out the speed. it's kind of hard to hear with the muffs on. You know, that's one of the reasons I really don't like muffs. I know it's really good for your hearing, but I like to listen to my tractor work and kind of listen to if it's straining or if something's clogged up or doesn't sound right. It's hard to do that when you have the ear protection in, but it's a trade-off, right? Well, if you're a knucklehead, kind of like I tend to be, then you'd go a couple passes wondering why the heck all the leaves are on the ground spilling out of the boot instead of going into the hopper. That means one of two things: either your hopper is full or your chute is clogged. Okay, so if you go from a really good situation to sucking everything up to leaving a whole bunch of debris kind of along the discharge side of your mower deck, check the hopper or check the chute. So there's the first step. Put it up that way. And then if you pack it just so good, you just stuff it so full, it's just packed in there so tight it doesn't even want to drop out. So you end up with what you see here. Just give it a little shimmy. You can get off the tractor and let it empty on out. But I packed this thing completely full. I should point out that you can see right inside these tubes, so you can see a little bit of grass collected in the bottom of this, but it's not clogged. Okay, you can also see in this tube here, there's no grass or anything in there either, so the chutes weren't clogged. It had just got to the point of being jammed packed in here, so there wasn't anywhere else for the grass clippings to go. You can see that's quite a pile right there, but again, I am cutting off a lot of grass, well over the 1/3 rule. It's more like the 2/3 or 3/4 rule here that I'm cutting off. Way more than you should, but then again, that's what I do. Things you're not supposed to. Hey, take two here, trying to wrap up the first round of mowing here. It got dark on me, I ran out of time, you know. Got one kid at a practice right now, the other one's doing homework. I'm gonna try to get out here and wrap it up, but you can see more leaves are falling. I'm just gonna try to knock this out really quick, get it done, get it real mowed. Away we go. Okay, a couple things to note. So I've kind of been experimenting with high and low range. What I found is that because I'm cutting off so much, or I was cutting off so much, I mean, you can see here that deck is out of level by about a ½ inch or so, and with the undulations it's scalping in areas, but it's cutting off a lot of grass. That's the point. So it's so thick, it is bogging it down a little bit in high range, so I switched it to low range, running at wide open throttle and full speed, and it's not a problem at all. There's some areas here that I had already mowed because the leaves fell again, so I went over them again. I did those areas in high range, going as fast as I could, didn't have an issue. So I think it's really, if you're cutting off an absolute boatload of grass at one time, low range is probably the way to go. But if you're not cutting off all that much grass and then just sucking up the leaves I don't really think at this point, at least this quantity, are an issue. We'll see if there's a full blanket later this fall, if it's a problem then. But a couple of points of interest there. Hey, well, I'm gonna wrap this up now, so thanks so much for watching. If you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button right underneath the video. Read through that description as well, all sorts of helpful links for tractor owners, and check out the other videos on my channel. Until next time, stay safe. We'll see you soon.